I am so inspired by everyday items around me that I use in my quilting. This quilt behind me is a client quilt, and I'm going to be talking about these little teeny tiny half square triangles in a moment. But I recently bought a roll of paper towels, and I don't know if you can see this quilting motif really well, but this is one way I get inspired to quilt different things. I can be out in the public and see tile work or paper towels or just something in nature that inspires me to replicate that pattern in a quilt. Paper towels, who knew? Today though, I wanted to talk about ways to use charm packs. I have, I don't know, 6 here or so. I have a lot in my pre-cut cabinet over there where I keep my pre-cuts. But you know, you see a line that you just love and I want to do something with that, but let me just get a charm pack. Charm packs are 5-inch squares, and they are from, this one happens to be from Kim Deal. I have several different designers in this stack, but this one happens to be from Kim Deal. It's called Gathering Basket, and when a fabric designer puts out a new line of fabric, there's one of each one of the whole line in this charm pack. This one has 42 pieces, which is mostly what the line runs, anywhere between 36 and 42 different fabric pieces, SKUs, sometimes some quilt shop owners call them. But this one has 42, and I want to show today 2 ways that I use my charm packs to just make a quilt top or a table runner or just something quilted. The first one is this table runner that I made, and this is halved. I want to say it's about 50 inches long by, I don't know, 18 inches maybe. I took a pack of charm packs and I cut the charm pack in half. So I basically had a 2.5 by 5 rectangle, and then I sewed those all together. Paired them together. Here's 2, here's 2, here's 2, here's 2. Then I just put sashing between them, and I made this table runner. It could be a wall hanging too if you wanted to put it on a long skinny wall if you had, or a bed runner. You could put it across the bottom of your bed. But charm packs are right around $10 a pack, and you'd be amazed at what you can do with the charm pack. But this is one way I incorporated Civil War, line of fabric. Don't ask me what the name of it is because I made this quite a while ago. But that's just one way you can use your charm packs. Cut them in half, sew them together, rows, sashing right here, and then I quilted this. I use it for a table runner for my big long table, or I have used it across the bottom of a bed. Like I said, it's a pretty big long. I'd say it's probably, this is 25, it's roughly 50 by 18, I would say. But just one way to use your charm packs. The other way is, and I'm going to be using, doing a plug for Thangles, even though they didn't pay me for this promotion, but I do like using Thangles. I was 2 years ago, I was in Madison, Wisconsin at a quilt show, quilts, where there were vendors and tons of inspiration, a quilt show, and I met Nancy Zimmerman, who unfortunately passed away last year, and had my picture taken with her, and was there with my aunt and had a wonderful time. But I saw a quilt that was made out of Thangles, or used Thangles to make it. It was nothing but half square triangles in 2 color schemes, and that picture has still, we were not really allowed to take pictures inside the show, but that picture is still in my mind, that image, and I quickly drew it when I got out on the bus that took us back to Illinois, where I was staying at the time with my aunt. I did a sketch from my memory, and this fall I wanted to do a black and orange one. Those are, yes, they're fall colors, Halloween colors. They're also the colors of our local high school where I grew up. But you would take a light and a dark. This one happens to be Toile, I want to say. It's cream with a black print on it, and this is an orange and black print. You put them right sides together, and then you would pin this thangel to the top, and you would stitch diagonal on these lines all the way down, and then you could put another set, make another set, cut on the solid black lines, iron them open, and you have a whole square, but they're two half square triangles put together. If you take a square and you cut it in half diagonally, it's a lot harder to make that type of a quilt because you're working with those really stretchy biased edges. The angles are pretty spot on. You can sew them and cut them without having to work with those biased edges. I'm excited to get started on this project. I have all my squares here, or excuse me, all my strips of fabric. They're 3.5 inch strips, and I used scraps. I like to use a lot of scraps up. Oranges, some black gingham, some stars, more oranges, creams and oranges. Just, it's going to be a very scrappy quilt. I like to use scraps up to quilt. Just a really fun way to use up your scraps, or you could use those thangles with a charm pack. That's what I was trying to get at. You could, it's kind of a waste, I would say, because you need longer pieces, but you could use, they have, I believe it's Lisa Von Jean, who has made triangle paper, half square triangle paper for charm packs specifically. And it just makes a really cute way to use up your charm packs. These are probably different makers, but I've probably had these just waiting for the perfect project. This one is Riverbanks by Jeannie Horton. She's my shout out girl in Spring Green, Wisconsin. She makes a wonderful line of fabric once a year, I would say, maybe twice. But they're just two ways that you can use up your charm packs to where you could say, I'm saving those for something special, because we all do it. We all do it. We save those charm packs for something fun that we want to make. And it's just one way, another two ways actually, to use up your charm packs.